Chapter 4. Up-Close Attraction. Her day 1 begins with reviewing and setting up the appointments for Mr. Han, reading, editing, and replying to his emails, and completing reports from meetings that Marissa turned over to her. She was busy discussing some matters with her staff when Mr. Han came in. In a powerful voice, she called for Gabrielle and asked for the day's appointment. "You are going to have a lunch meeting with a certain Mr. Howard Borja, who wished to invest in your company, at Namu House in Fort Bonifacio, BGC, Taguig, sir," in a mild husky voice while taking off his coat. "Anything else?" Then she replied, "Also, Mr. Kwon Namjoon, our VP for marketing, is asking for an audience with you at 3 p.m. Sir, I see. Well then, instruct Lowy to tell my cousin to meet me here in my office at 2 p.m. And, looking intently at how Gabrielle dressed, added, "Both of us will go to that Namu house to meet this certain, as you said, Mr. Borja. Is that all?" Gabrielle nodded. Mr. Han was busy conversing over the phone when Gabrielle handed over a note reminding them of their lunch meeting. Somehow annoyed by Gabrielle's disruption, he ended his call with a soft, gentle goodbye in Korean Tanjung-e Baja, meaning, "Yes, see you later." As he stood up, Gabrielle was already behind to aid him on his coat and was secretly amused, thus thanking her softly. Upon arrival at the Namu house, a receptionist met them, leading them to Mr. Borja's table. While conversing over lunch, Gabrielle took important notes significant to their discussions. Mr. Han couldn't help but notice that she barely touched her food. He could not tap on Gabrielle though his eyes were glued on her. Mr. Borja became aware of the situation, so he offered Gabrielle some food on a plate. She nodded and scooped a spoonful while still intently listening and writing down the essential lines of their conversations. Then the two men shake hands and agree to meet again after reviewing his proposal. After Mr. Borja left the meeting, Gabrielle was about to rise from her seat as a signal for them to go when Mr. Han grabbed her hand. "We're not leaving this table until you finish your meal, Gabrielle. You only had a scoop, and I will not let you go back to work without eating," he ordered with concern. And so, in obedience, she ate while Mr. Han watched her closely. He finds Gabrielle truly beautiful and finds that she has gorgeous brown eyes, too, which he overlooked during their first encounter in his office and somehow felt an uncertain attraction to her. In contrast, Gabrielle spontaneously feels so conscious that her stomach seems to flutter. Then Mr. Han whispered, "Now, I saw you up close until to this moment. Niamu alumdaoyo." Speaking in Korean then, there was silence between them. "It means you are so beautiful," with a severe stare at her. Gabrielle coughed, thumping her chest, conscious and bewildered by his statement and sticky look. Then Mr. Han took away his gaze, realizing his careless unconscious comment of that instant, then unmindfully poured some juice into her glass to distract her from what he had just said. Gabrielle then suggested that she hold, and drink the juice given to her, then asked his permission to use the restroom. "I'll be waiting at the lobby," he reminded. In the restroom, Gabrielle was uneasy and tensed at how Hyun-ki gazed at her. She felt conscious of that look, her heart beating heavily, and her stomach seems to have butterflies fluttering inside. Is this right? She kept asking herself, for she is his executive assistant and his new employee at that. She set aside this conscious feeling and hurried out to the lobby, thinking she's taken too long to have him wait. But Hyun-ki had been patiently standing there, his strong silhouette leaning by the wall with his hands in his pocket. And when he saw her, he beamed at her, his dimples so appealing, and with that captivating smile, she felt like melting. He led her to his car, opened the door for her gentlemanly, and when they were both seated, he took the seat belt at her side, with his face almost touching hers. Gabrielle could not seem to help her feelings overcome her because, at that moment, she could smell that manly scent of his cologne, inviting a kiss. Hyun-ki gently pulled the seat belt, speaking to her intimately. "Always wear the seat belt for safety, okay?" Still out of words but nodded. While in the car, feeling erratic then, she was so into herself that she forgot what her boss was talking about. "Are you all right, Gabrielle? You seem to drift, so I guess you did not hear a word from what I am asking," she quipped. "Sorry, sir, but beg your pardon." Hyun-ki touched her face to feel if she had a fever. His caring attention moved Gabrielle, slightly moved away, and assured him she was well, then repeated her question. "What is it you've asked, sir?" Hyun-ki glanced at her and asked, "What's your nickname? I mean, how do you wish to be called?" She quipped, "Riel, that's how I'm called at home and by my friends, sir." There must be a growing attraction here, but do you think Mr. Han Hyun-ki was attracted to Gabrielle, or was he playing her? Let us find out.